All right, good evening, everybody. We're live to you with Tom and Carlito at the Cryptid Junkies, and
Hey guys.
we just want to say sorry about the little interruption. We had a little technical difficulty getting our guests connected, but we're good now. So sorry about that. Yeah. So how's everybody doing tonight? We just want to say we got a good guest on, and we're looking forward to tonight's show. And I just want to give a good shout out to all the people out there, all the fans and listeners, and the people part of the crew. And my heart goes out to all my people out west, Texas, out as where everyone got frozen up, snow, people lost power, people had no water. I mean, Carlito was part of that,
I was one of them, yeah.
It was hard,
Me and
a lot of people had it rough, and people were sharing food, sharing water, sharing whatever they can do to make things happen. But my heart goes out to all you, and I'm just glad y'all doing okay now, because that's gotta be a hard time to live. But yeah, we're getting ready to come have our guest on, and I'm gonna throw the mic over to my boy Carlito. So what you got to say, Carlito?
Thank you, Tom. Very nice introduction, man. I like that. Thank you, bro. Yeah, man. I'm just excited about today's live, man. I've been thinking about that all day, really. Like, it just kind of gives you a little bit of, butterflies in your stomach. You know what I mean? Like in the old days, before you went on, something like on stage in high school or something like that. But it's all good, man. I'm happy. I'm loving this. Our fans are really, great, and our members, our subscribers, they're really great. They've been showing a lot of love and support. You know what I mean? And hey, Lisa, hey, David from Texas, and hey, Richard. They're on right now, bro.
Hey,
just want to give. Oh yeah, I just want to give a shout out to the guys with Marvin Allen, which is a great guy, great friend. And they're tuning in tonight. Thank you guys for being here. And also, I just wanted to say that, man, I've been looking forward to this all week, man, because like we did the little preview on our announcements that about Todd, and and they kind of know what it's about, and just want to say that I think it's going to be a great show today, man. So that's pretty much it I got on the intro, Tom, and I guess we can start with Todd. Todd, can you say hello to everybody and maybe give us a little bio about yourself, bro, please?
Hi, everybody. 25 years old, truck driver, been driving for 2-3 years, and hope everybody done well and staying warm. Hope it's all over with this winter. So, y'all can hear me all right? Y'all ready?
We're good, man.
Where do you want me to start?
Take it from the beginning. Like what? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Todd, we were talking about, me and Tom, like maybe since you had the 4 encounters, maybe you can tell us about the first encounter, then we can ask you some questions on that, and then continue with the next encounter, and so forth and so forth. Is that cool with you?
Works fine with me.
Buddy. All right, man. You got the floor. Go ahead and get started then.
All right. My first encounter happened around Ozarks, Arkansas. It was pretty late at night. I was driving through. I was running low on hours on my e-logs. So I pulled in. I was tired. Went to a little truck stop there. And the parking was full. I mean, this is a tiny truck stop. So I circled it for a minute, then pulled out and parked on the on-ramp. I figured I'd park there and take a nap before I headed on to OK City. So I shut down there, right on the shoulder. Everybody that ever drove freeways knows where trucks park when there ain't no parking. Well, I lay down, went to bed, must have been asleep. Probably an hour or 2 hours. I heard a loud knock on my window. Just 3 knocks, real loud. I thought, DOT cop, state police. So I got up, got dressed as fast as I could. I didn't even look out the window. I jumped down in the driver's seat and turned my overhead light on. I looked out the window, and I couldn't believe what I saw at first. I thought it was a dog standing up on the step of my truck. But then I realized it was head level with me. there ain't no way a dog is going to be that high up in the air, even standing on the step. I'd have to look down at it, but I was eye level with it. When I was sitting there, I saw its eyes, crazy yellow, kind of like an amber colored.
Yeah, wow.
Really bright. And I sat there for a minute, I froze up. I was absolutely terrified. And I sat there for a minute, and it raised up one paw, put against the glass on the window. Then kind of did that snicker smile. It's hard to explain. It's hard to put a human term to dog wolf head expression. But it smiled at me. After that, I said, I'm out of here. I started my truck up, and it took me about a second to pull out of there. I don't know where it went, what direction it took off running. All I know, I wasn't sticking around to find out whether it wanted in the cab with me or not.
Right. Wow.
So I left out of there, and I didn't even look back.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Can I ask you a question, Todd? I mean, is it okay? Are you pretty much done with that? Okay. So you were sleeping in your rig, right? In that little back cabin thingy on the rigs, right? You are ready to sleep?
Yes.
Right. Okay. And then what is it that woke you up? Like, was it a bump? Was it a tapping on the window? What was it that, woke you up?
Hard rap on the window.
Wow. Oh, it was on the window then, Tom. Damn. Okay. Wow. You got any questions, Tom?
Yeah. Hey, Todd, you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you just fine.
Okay. So when you said it gave you that smile, was that like a smirky smile, like it was kind of grinning at you, like kind of like a powerful grin, like I know if I want you, I could have you and take you, and if I wanted you, I can kill you and rip you out of this truck? Or was it one of them kind of smiles, like a evil, sinister, just something just prime evil, right?
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of like a high school bully just played a good prank, and that kind of sinister smirk. Yes.
Wow.
That's the best way to describe it.
Wow.
Wow. And I remember you were telling me in a pre-interview, Todd, that on a rig, many people don't know this, but on a rig, any little movement can move your rig back, can rock it back and forth, right? Because it's on air. What would you tell me it was on the? It's sitting on what?
The rear end of the truck. Most of them's air ride suspension.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And basically, imagine 4 airbags and your truck sitting on it.
So it doesn't take much to rock the truck back and forth. Right.
Wind come up and rock it. My dog jumped out of bed in the middle of the night will rock it.
Okay. So when you heard this knock and you looked out and you saw, the Dogman right in your freaking window, you didn't hear or feel anything like climb your truck?
It wasn't on the truck.
It wasn't on your truck. Okay.
It was standing.
So it was standing on the ground.
Say it was just a abnormally large dog, it'd put its paws up and put weight on my truck, I'd feel a little bit of movement.
Right. Wow. Okay. Wow, man. So it's basically it was standing on the ground all the way window height to your truck. Right.
Eye height, I'd say. Now,
okay. So.
it was 7 or 8 foot off.
Okay, I remember you telling me also, Todd, that the bottom part where you sit on your rig to the ground is how tall is that?
It's just a little below my head height.
Right.
Just a little bit below.
Right. So it's about what, like say 6 foot from the ground? Okay.
Yeah.
So then the window would be like what, another foot and a half maybe?
Well, it's about a foot. The bottom of the window is about a foot above my seat, and then give it another 2 foot for the rest of my height.
Wow.
Because it was eye level with it.
Right. So it's basically another 2 feet, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it had been
8.
Right.
8. It was a big one. It was a big one.
Right.
About 8.
About 8 foot then.
Yeah.
Wow. Cool. You got any other questions, Tom? I see the guys are in the chat asking questions. We're fixing to ask them about those.
Yeah.
But do you have any other questions? Any other doubt?
No, I think we can go to the chat if we want to open up the chat for questions. We can do that for this encounter, then jump to the next one if that's cool.
Okay, yeah, we'll yeah, that sounds good. We'll do a couple of questions from the chat, Todd, and then we'll jump to the next encounter. Is that cool?
Fine with me. Asked away.
Okay. All right. You want to start,
Yeah.
Tom? Because I know there's a lot of questions. We got to kind of go back and.
I'll start.
Okay.
From what I see, it says Richard wants to know if he got any evil vibes from it.
Me running my upholstery on my seat, does that count? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, it wasn't right. Yeah, I don't necessarily know if I got an evil vibe from it, but it was a bad one.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Let me see. What other questions are there? Did you see any other questions, Tom?
Yeah. Lisa wants to know, did he smell anything?
In none of my encounters, I've never smelled anything.
Wow.
And basically, inside the cab of a truck, you're in a sealed atmosphere.
What about the eye color?
Amberish, yellow gold, amberish.
Wow.
Really bright amber.
Amber. Yeah, that's like the most common color for most. Well, the most most common color for Dogman. The most like the most looked at, right, Tom? I mean, that's what I've heard like throughout the years.
That's
that's
a common that's a common color, and the other color is like if you take a brown beer bottle and you hold a flashlight to it, and that reflection is like the color that they talk about as well. It's like a yellowish tint with brown in it, almost like a shiny. And and I think Marvin wanted to know how tall it was, but I think you said about 8 feet, right,
about
Todd?
8 feet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
All
right.
See any more questions?
Paul wants to know if it was if he heard it snarling, but you were probably in an enclosed cab. You couldn't probably hear nothing, right, Todd?
No.
Oh, okay. I got a good one, Todd. Lisa is asking, what was its fur color? Do you remember that one?
Black.
Black. Okay. Like jet black or dirty?
Black.
Black. Okay. All right. Cool.
It could have been slightly different shade of black, or maybe had some brown mix in.
Right.
I don't know. It was dark.
Right. So this happened at night.
Yeah. What was illuminating it is my light inside the cab. See, I keep my windows really clean, so there wasn't no glare. And at that range, it lit up.
Okay. I got another question from Marvin. He's asking, do you think there could have been more, or do you think it just alone? You know what I mean? Was it alone?
Lord, I hope it was by itself.
Yeah, because most encounters, they say that they think they're alone, but they're really not. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know where the other ones are, behind the trees or anything. Like, they normally run in groups, is what it is. You know what I mean?
I'd rather not think about that at this moment.
Right. Okay. All right, that's fine. Any other questions that you might see, Tom? I'm not seeing any other questions, man.
I'm not seeing any, but I think we have like a 30-second delay the way Facebook Live works, so we might not catch it. But if he wants to start, if he wants to start going to the second encounter, and I'll just I'll remember the question and go back to it. If not, they could always ask it later. You know what I mean?
Right,
Oh wait,
right.
there's one question. Okay.
Okay.
Charlie Colleen, did it seem predatory or more wanting attention?
Well, I'll take a note out of the
question.
textbook. I think it's just trying to get a rise out of me. I think it's just trying to mess with me, like, hey, I'm here. Look at me.
Yeah.
I will scare you.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely, man. Al said Thriga wants to know how much did it weigh?
Wow.
Well, I didn't have time to pull out the scale.
I mean,
so.
you know,
or how much you think?
that's
it weighed,
estimate.
yeah.
What do you think it weighed?
Yeah.
Ballpark?
Yeah.
I'd probably say in the 400 to 500 pound range. Maybe more.
Yeah. That's, I mean, something 8 foot or taller, that's muscular, as you said, as big as it was. It had to be at least 500 pounds, in my opinion. So I will go with that.
Hey, Todd.
I'm no expert by any means, but it's
Hey,
big.
Todd, do you remember if it was like very muscular, like a bodybuilder, like most people say they look like?
Yeah, I didn't really break eye contact at all with it.
Oh, okay,
I'd say it was pretty built.
okay.
I don't think it was a stick.
Right. So it looked pretty muscular. Okay.
Yeah, just by the breadth of the shoulders.
Okay.
What's there?
Wow. Nice.
I mean, from what I'm seeing, Tom ain't no little guy. It dwarfed you.
Right.
I bet.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. Being 8 foot, eye level with you on your window off of your rig. Rigs are tall, so yeah, it had to be huge, man. 8 foot. Yeah.
I want to break out the measure and take to see exactly how tall it was.
I know. Yeah. You know what? That would be a good idea. Break out the measuring tape and just kind of, guesstimate where he was standing, the top of his head, and look how tall that was. Because yeah, I'm thinking that's really tall, man. But okay, all right. Lisa was asking if you knew if he had a tail, but like you said, you didn't really get a chance to look at him like the rest of his body, besides making eye contact with him.
Yeah.
So we couldn't really know if he had a tail.
You didn't see no hands, claws, or feet or nothing like that, right?
A very good detailed look at the hands and claws, though.
Oh, you did?
On one. I reckon the right hand, claw, talons, whatever. It was big. It was twice the size of mine. And the claws had to be anywhere from, I'd say, 3/4 inch to an inch long.
Wow.
And it looked somewhat like a human hand, but just a little different. The thumb was a little weird.
Oh, okay.
But
hey, somebody in the chat, Bond wants to know if you already mentioned the claws, but he wanted to know if you saw any claws or teeth. Did he?
Saw teeth.
You did? Okay.
Long, white. Don't want bit by it at all. I mean, it had canines like regular wolf or German Shepherd. Long canines, they probably hung out. I don't know, when I saw about an inch of them.
Wow. Yeah, because most people say they go for like maybe about 2 to 3 inches long, their canines.
Yeah.
But you saw like an inch sticking out only. So it really didn't open his mouth is what it is, right?
No, it kept its mouth shut.
Right.
When it did that spurt thing, it kind of revealed the canines to me. Just a little bit of them.
Right. We got another question from the chat. David, he's asking, was there a feeling like he knew it was there? Or was there a feeling like you knew it was there?
No, I just, like I said, before it happened, I thought it was a cop knocking on my window like that.
Oh, right. Yeah. I remember you telling me that. Yeah, you thought it was a cop because he was like, he knocked pretty hard. Right.
My first instincts when somebody knocks on my window is, if it's a cop, how am I going to argue my way out of this ticket?
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah, that's wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, so we're pretty much done with this. I don't see any more
Uh,
questions, Tom.
Somebody wanted to know if it was male or female. I think Bond wanted to know.
No,
Okay.
no way I could
Yeah, we
tell.
can.
Okay. So no genitalia, nothing to see there, right?
Nothing to see there.
Okay. Fair enough. Maybe that was a good thing.
I don't want to know.
Exactly. Oh. Let's jump into the second one then, Todd. Let's
Okay.
do it.
All right.
Yeah, sounds good.
Well, I was on a run from Charlotte, North Carolina, FedEx, to Newark, New Jersey. And I just picked up my load and I hit the bypass going around Charlotte. And I was driving and just got to a work zone. And I hit some road construction. Just, regular. They tore the road up. Let's make it hard on truckers to drive. And I believe they had the left lane shut down. So I was in the right lane. I was cruising along. I had my low beams on and my fog lights come on automatically. So I pretty well lit up the road. Well, off in the distance a little ways, I'd say, 200 yards or a little more. I saw two, it was eye shine, bright red eye shine. Really, really stood out, and I saw something white in colors. It was standing by a construction sign. It was the typical do not hit workers, 14 years in jail, that kind of sign. And I got close to it and I slowed down because honestly, I rubberneck. Every truck driver does. We see something on the road, ooh, entertainment. So I slowed down a little bit as I got closer to it. And all I saw was this white person-like shape, way too big because its head cleared the sign, and them signs are, I'd say, well, this one I reckon was 6.5, 7 foot tall sign where they drove it in the ground. And it had one arm and paw up over the sign like it's supporting itself. Its head looked identical to a white wolf head. Just lots of teeth. I saw the teeth were big enough I was getting glints of light off of them. And I got, like I said, I was going a little slower. Speed limit was 55. I must have been doing about 40. And I saw what it was and recognized it, and I took off. I hammered down. I blew through that work zone doing 70. And I got out of there. I didn't want to see it, so I left. And that's into that one. That was just a brief, glancing, just short encounter.
Wow. Yeah. That one right there, Todd, I remember you telling me that you didn't have a very, very close encounter, but it was like on the other side of the road. Is that correct?
Oh, it was, the way I'm saying it, right lane was closed, then you have the shoulder, and then back from the shoulder is the road sign. They always drive in dirt, and I'd say about 5, 6 foot off the road. So, other side of the road to me.
Wow. Okay. Okay. All right. And just to recap, it was a white color one, right? Because I remember you saying it was white. So it was completely white?
From what I seen, it was stark white.
Right. Okay. And its head looked like a big white wolf head.
Yeah.
Okay. Did this happen in a time of snow? Like, was it cold or anything like that, or?
No, it was sometime.
Wow.
Summer, maybe fall.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay.
It was beautiful weather in Charlotte.
Okay, Charlotte.
It was at night. I mean, I'd say 75 out.
Okay. Tom, you said you're from North Carolina, right? Are you familiar with Charlotte?
I actually am. I I know that area quite well. I think there's a lot of road construction parts on 85 north going north, and there's a ton of woodland up there. I mean, it's insane the amount of woods that, and they all just kind of interconnect with each other. So these things can go all over the state just by traveling the freeways because the woods are so engulfed and they all connect, and everything is pretty much just they can hide wherever they want to, and it's pretty scary if you think about it. Because I mean, if you drive down 85 in North Carolina, where he's talking about, I mean, all it is just woods and maybe a couple houses and buildings, and it's just like I said, it's all woods and it all interconnects. And these things can just pretty much move wherever they want to throughout the state, all over. So, yeah.
Well, you know the bypass I'm talking about. I believe it's like 485
Yeah.
goes around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I usually hit that instead of driving straight through Charlotte because that could be a nightmare
Yeah.
sometimes. So I hit the bypass. That's where I seen it in road work. Well, I think that might have been 1 or 2 in the morning. It was early in the morning when I saw it. So it's probably just trying to cross it when there's less traffic.
Yeah, I think so. They can tell.
Wow.
They can tell when there's cars. They could hear the cars. They could sense them. They could feel all the cars during rush hour. And I think a lot of these, whether it's Bigfoot or Dogman, they come around. They come around at night where it's late and there's not many traffic on, and they got their free range to do what they want.
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir.
Wow. Man, I don't know. I don't know what I would do if I just even saw one. I mean, much less come into a, close encounter with it. But I mean, damn, dude, like he saw that like across the street, but he was how big do you think he was? Like, just a guesstimate. You know what I mean?
It
Todd?
was probably 7 foot tall, and it was big. For me to see the outline from decent distance away at night, even with good light set up, it was big.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Do you remember what type of fur it had? Like, was it like fluffy, or was it like sleek or anything like that? Do you remember any of that, Todd?
Kind of like straggly.
Okay.
It was full. It had a full coat, but it kind of looked straggly. Like it might have been wet or something like that.
Oh, okay. Was the fur kind of longish, or was it short, or do you remember?
Probably a medium length.
Medium. Okay.
It looked medium to the longish side.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I guess we can start with the questions in the chat. Tom?
Yeah. The first question I'm seeing so far. Well, we do have a question from Chris Cyrus, our buddy.
Chris.
He wanted to know if it changed his perspective on how he looks at nature or about the woods or going out into that kind of thing after his first encounter.
Oh yeah, most definitely. My recommendation: never go alone if you can avoid it. Carry enough arms on you of a high enough caliber to level a small village. Because I don't know, these things are massive. It could take 10 shots from a 45 to bring one down. And always pay attention to your surrounding. You get that gut feeling to get out of there, leave.
Right.
Because if you just go along, not paying attention to your environment, not paying attention to your surroundings, say you just walk up on one, which ain't going to happen. If you see one, it's going to be of their own terms. If you see one, back off slowly. Don't turn your back on it. Just back off slowly and leave. Yeah, to say it changed my perspective on the woods, we are not owners of the woods. We're just visitors.
Yep.
Right, exactly. Any more questions, Tom, that you might see?
Yeah,
that's what I've been looking through.
I got one.
Just...
I'm seeing Miss Charlie Kylene wants to know why they're coming out more, though. Do you think they're getting brave, or it's something in the environment forcing them out?
Loss of habitat. humans encroaching into the wood, closer into the woods, building houses in the woods, cabins. Basically, yeah, if you build a house in their backyard, you're going to see them.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
If they're anything like, say, wolves, for example, their instincts is going to be protect their territory.
Right. Right.
Them, we might be just an invasive species.
It is. That's what I was going to say too, Todd. I think it's not. I think they're not becoming a problem. I think we're becoming a problem because we're going in further and further into their domain. You know what I mean? Into their territory. So that's why we're having a lot more encounters, because like a lot of people said throughout the cryptid world, like, why are so many encounters happening now that we didn't used to have back in, you know, in the 80s or 70s, or, you know what I mean? Not as many as now, you know what I mean? And I think that's big. That's a big part of it, because we're starting to go deeper and deeper into their territory. You know what I mean? So that's absolutely right. I have another question, a real good question, actually. It's from Charlie Kylene. It says, could you keep a dash cam on your rig? And that's a very good question. Is that possible? I mean, do they let you do that, Todd, or no?
I have a company issued dash cam, but I have no access to the videos. Unless I mess up driving, it don't even trigger.
Oh, okay. But what about, like, what can you put your own? You know what I'm saying? Your own dash cam?
I want to. I'd have to get permission from safety.
Right. Yeah, that's the question. Do they let you? Okay. All right. Thank you, Todd. You got any more questions, Tom?
Yeah. Richard Brown wanted to know, do you hunt? And if yes, did these encounters change your hunting drive?
I still go hunting, but I never go alone. I always have somebody with me. It ain't out of cowardice, it's out of protection. Buddy system goes a long ways.
Yeah. And what do we got? Lisa wants to know if you think that anybody else saw it, you know, while you were driving down the road that night. If anyone else was like on the road, do you think anyone else saw it besides you?
There was a couple little cars, but you know, most people are in their own little world and they don't watch.
Yep. They're all looking at their phones or looking at their GPS or doing whatever. Got their Teslas on auto drive, whatever it is, that they're not paying attention. I mean, I know me, when I'm driving down the interstate, ever since I've had my encounters, you know, all I do is look into the side of the road, look into the woods and see what I see, because it just comes natural now, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was just reading right now. Marvin just said, I think more people who are seeing these creatures are coming forward. Yeah, that is true. Because we have, you know, more technology, better technology. We have computers, we have laptops, we have, you know, iPads, we have iWatches, you know, we have GoPros, you know, which we didn't used to have back in the day. That's why there weren't so many encounters reported. You know what I mean? I'm sure there was the encounters, but there wasn't a way to report it, and a lot of people didn't want to come forth either because of, you know, fear of being ridiculed. So, you know, that's another thing that, you know, I think that's why we have a lot more encounters nowadays. Yeah,
that is true.
Any more questions, Tom? Anything you want to add?
Yeah, you know what you were saying about why the people are seeing them. You know, I agree completely with you, Todd, because, you know, like the encroachment, and, you know, everyone's moving to certain areas where it's all country now, and people are moving out of states, moving to states with country. They're building shopping malls. I mean, they're building, you know, super center stores, or, you know, they're throwing up apartment complexes, whatever they could chop down woods and build. That's what they're doing, and these things are losing their homes, so they got nowhere else to go, and you know, it's crazy. You know, what are they going to do? They're just going to run around, go in your yard, and go where they can get their food, and, you know, bother people because we're taking their stuff away, so they're going to give it back to us. You know,
absolutely.
Yeah. And humans, if anything, is a very good food source because trash everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I have another question. This is coming from. Ooh, damn! I lost it. Okay, hold on. Okay, yeah, okay. It was Alfred Santariga. He wants to know, did he blow his horn when to get a response from the creature? No.
No, I was ready to my.
Okay. That was far from what you were thinking at that moment, right?
But
Okay.
if I
Okay.
would
Okay.
have, it could have went either way. It could have caused it to run, or say if I blow my air horn at it, it could do like a moose sometimes will, going to attack.
Right.
And I don't know about you, but these trucks are fiberglass, and I have 100% guaranteed feeling that it'll get in here with me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt that they can break any vehicle's window. You know what I mean? I wouldn't doubt it whatsoever. Why they don't, no, nobody knows. Nobody knows, because I've heard that like in so many encounters on Vic's show, you know, with Chris, with Marvin Allen, on every show that I've heard encounters that they had a Dogman outside their window, whether it be a car, an RV, a house, like the famous glass house one on Vic's show, Tom. They don't break windows. They don't break to break in, which we know they can, but they just, for some reason, we don't know what it is, they don't break windows when, you know, when it's so obvious that they can with, you know, their strength and size. So I have another question from Richard. Todd, he says, will you ever track one of these creatures to see where they live?
Absolutely
No.
no. Hell no.
Right.
Nope.
Right. Okay.
I like my life. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely, man. Do you see any other questions, Tom, or do you want to add anything, buddy?
I think we're good to go to the next one. I think I threw in my, my little 2 cents, and I think we're ready to hear Todd's third encounter. Everybody ready out there in the audience?
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. I don't see any more questions, so okay, that sounds good.
I'm gonna do this one the best I can with my memory.
Okay. Alrighty.
I'll try to go in a lot of detail with it. But, you know how minds work.
Right. If it's the one in the woods that grabbed your shoulder, yes, please give us every little detail that comes to mind, like Vic says.
I sure will. And all right,
okay,
let's get into it.
All right, buddy.
Well, it was around Thanksgiving, 24th November, right around in there. And I just got home early, and there's modern gun season open. No, it wasn't modern gun, it was crossbow, bow season. So I got home early, and I decided to go hunting, which, that ain't surprising, traditional fare on Thanksgiving, venison. So I got up early, loaded up crossbow. I put on my 45 as normal. I'm not going up against a bear with just a crossbow. So I got out, got in the truck, drove up hill, which I used to live in Ozone. Now I live in Clarksville. I drove up to Ozone, my old hunting grounds when I was a kid. Got to the trailhead, which is basically a Forest Service road, little bitty one. Parked my truck gate car, and it's about, I'd say, a good 3 to 5 miles in. I mean, Ozark National Forest is a big place. And this is an estimate. I could be wrong, could be more, could be less. I don't know. It's a heck of a walk to get in there. So I walked in there. Don't know how long it took me, because in the woods I'm looking around, watching. Deer walk out on you on a trail. So I got around to the food plot. I'd probably say I've been walking about 3 hours, 3, maybe 4. I just like walking in there, bring back memories. Got to the food plot, walked around to the other side, sat there a minute, didn't see anything, so I decided to go to the old orchard. And my grandpa showed me where this was when I was a kid. If you don't know where it's at, you won't find it. And so I walked in there. It's probably another mile and a half. Got there, and there's this old oak tree. And I love sitting by it. It's big. It's uphill from the orchard. You can see into the trees. Perfect vantage point. Wind was blowing in my face, so I know I was upwind from everything in there. I sat there for probably a good couple hours, maybe a little more. And I mean, I didn't hear nothing. There wasn't even a squirrel running around. And so I thought, well, the orchard drops off a little bit here. And maybe I can walk to the edge of it and get a better vantage point. Maybe there's some game in there. I don't know. No harm in trying. I got up and I was walking. And it was through the woods a little bit. Wasn't nothing bad. And I felt like I had a briar hang up against my backpack. I always have backpack, survival kit, everything I can need if I have to overnight in the woods. So it felt like a briar got a hold of me. So I went to twist. And when I twisted, something grabbed me. I mean, right below my shoulders and up above my elbow, that spot right there, bicep. Both sides, I mean, I was locked. I couldn't move. It lasted probably, I'd say, 15 to 20 seconds before it released. And oh man, I thought somebody was in the woods. Maybe they just released me to grab a weapon. There ain't no telling. So I spun around and drew my pistol. I mean, I'm pretty fast with it. I've been carrying this pistol for the last 5-6 years. So rolled around, drew my pistol, and froze. I was standing there looking at it. This one was shorter than me. I'm 6'2", 250 pounds. It was shorter than me, but extraordinarily buff. I mean, this thing looked like Arnold, if you know what I mean. It was big. I just stood there holding it for a minute. Then I just got this feeling like put the gun up. I reholstered the pistol and stood there looking at it. I mean, I was frozen. I was going anywhere. Deer caught in headlight syndrome.
Yeah. Wow. I bet.
And I stood there. Must have been 2 to 5 minutes. Just stood there. No motion out of Dogman. Werewolf thing, whatever. I was sitting there, just standing there, just looking at it. And it raised up one of its arms and kind of did a pointed gesture, just not with a closed fist. Back the way I came. Right. So I left out of it. I backed up slowly for the first, I'd say, backed up through the brush and everything, trying to keep eyes on it till I felt secure that if it was going to run at me, I could get around. Open fire. I slowly turned around and I walked out of there at a pretty fast trot. Not running. I was not about to trigger any predator instincts or reflexes in it. And so I just kept on walking. Kind of good power walk. And every time I'd slow down for a minute, it felt like something pushed me. So I kept on going. I got out of there, and it was just around dusty dark when I got out of there. And turned the headlights on the truck, and I saw its outline. And like what I mean in the tree line, they did some logging and took out a bunch of trees, so there's a little tree line. I saw the outline of it, and bright red eye shine. First time I ever peeled out on a dirt road. So I just left, went home, happy as crazy that I survived it.
Wow.
That's the hardest one I got to repel.
Yeah, I think that's like, you know, the most exciting one where you had to, you know, close encounter with the Dogman. I mean, that's crazy, bro.
Close. It had me dead to rights. I don't even know why I'm alive.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay, Tom. So let's do a little recap on, you know, on what the encounter is. Okay, Todd. So yeah. basically, as you were walking, this happened at nighttime, right? Was this at night or was it daytime?
Well, I hunted the whole day, so I guess when I saw it and grabbed me, it was starting to get dark. Just
okay.
Maybe, I'd say 3 hours before sunset.
Right.
It was about to get dark. Well,
right,
I was
okay.
planning to leave anyway.
Right, okay. Okay. And so when it grabbed you, did you feel any type of pain or no? Was it like a soft grab on your shoulder to
No,
stop
no,
you?
no, no. Remember, I don't know if it ever happened to you. Remember as a kid, somebody grab you
Hmm.
around the shoulders with their hands and just hold you? It's like that, just really strong. The strength of these things. I'm 6'2", 250 pounds. If I want
Right.
to move, I'm going to move.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I was locked. There wasn't no
You
moving.
froze up.
Yeah, it wasn't gentle either.
Oh, okay.
But I just thought it was Cooter and the rest of his family out in the woods playing banjos. Thought they'd surprise a hunter.
So do you think it was alone, or do you think it might have been with its family or
Well,
pack members?
the way I'm thinking of it, I'm thinking it was an adolescent. So I may have been too close to a den area or a hiding place for the family. Maybe
Right.
more there. Most likely would.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. Wow. Okay. Ooh, man. You got anything, Tom? What's your take on that, man? That's crazy, bro. I can't. Man.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you got a good description on this thing. I mean, did you think this was like a hybrid or something? You think it's a creature? You think it's part human? Like, what's your take on what you saw? I mean, you were you were up close and personal with this thing. I mean, forget about it. That thing was big.
Yeah. I mean,
I
oh,
think
man.
it's a natural animal
Okay.
because UFOs, I didn't get beamed up.
Wow.
Traditional werewolf in the sense, there ain't no way it could be that. No. It had to be 100% natural biological animal.
Right. Well, yeah. Being that you had a very good look at it, so close, you know what I mean? Like at arm's reach, really. That's, I mean, wow. That's
Before
crazy.
somebody asked, it's definitely male.
Okay.
It's a male.
Yeah, it's a male. Hey, so okay, let me say something about the eyes. You said they look like a red outline on its eyes, right? Okay.
I saw it when I was driving
Red,
away. It was a red eye shine. The
red eye
eyes were
shine.
amber
Oh, the eyes were amber
when I was real close.
when you were close to them.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it was, like I said, it was dusty dark, and I turned my headlights on and hit it full in the face. Red eye shine.
Right. Well, because I don't know if you ever heard this before, Todd, but me and Tom have heard it, numerous times that they kind of like have an explanation on what the eye color is. So like when it's blue, they're like in a very friendly mood. When it's yellow, they're like in a regular mischievous mood that they have. But when it's red, they're like in an angry mood where they want to actually harm you or harm something or someone. So that's the reason I was bringing that up, if you knew about that, if you ever heard about that or not.
No, I haven't. I haven't heard about that at all. I don't even know how it's physically possible for the eyes to change that many times.
Yeah, well,
But what I saw was amber eyes, and when I drove away, I saw red eyes
right.
shine.
Well, yeah, that's what I thought myself, because I'm like, man, how can they change? How can they change? But we don't know, because remember, these are cryptids. These are not regular humans. These are cryptids, so we don't know what type of capable physical abilities they're capable of. You know what I mean?
We don't even know what constitutes them.
Right, exactly right. Like how they can run on all fours and then stand up straight and walk in a straight position. Also, you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. We don't know any animal that does that. I mean, besides bears and dogs, that dogs, they jump around for you, and bears, they might jump up to on their hind feet whenever they feel threatened or something by anybody. But run standing up, yeah,
Very stumbling walk.
right,
Bears have. I have
yeah,
never seen a Dogman on all fours. Never want to.
huh? Wow,
Yeah, but they just move way, way too fluid. Be something
yeah,
that spends all its time on all fours. The way they're built, looked like it'd be probably uncomfortable, if not painful, to stay on all fours all the time.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's. Well, no, I think to them it's like more comfortable being on all fours, and standing on 2 feet is more uncomfortable for them. I think. I don't know. That's just my opinion on that. Yeah, but it could be the other way around though. You're right. I mean that that makes sense too. So it's I guess just how we perceive them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom, what do you got, man? What's your take on this, bro?
I mean, this is just crazy. Chris wanted to know, following your encounters, has you developed form of PTSD having such a close experience with that Dogman?
I'd have to say yes. Like one of my favorite shows before I had any of my encounters. I mean, I drove through Texas, everywhere else, middle of the night listening to Dogman Encounters radio. It's all I can do to get through one of them. Because it brings flashbacks to me, it scares me. And I just don't like going through that all the time.
Wow. Well, so what do you what's your take? Your take on that, Tom? Like on the encounter itself, man.
I mean, honestly, I think you might have. Obviously, you said it was a male already. You already brought that up. So it was a male. So it might have been like the alpha male, or maybe one of the like the sentry guards that were guarding the pack or guarding like the little ones, and they were pretty much probably just trying to escort you out, because if he wanted to kill you, you wouldn't be talking to us right now. So they was probably running you off their turf, their territory, because you were getting too close to something that's important to them, or maybe you were interrupting a hunt. They were getting ready to go hunting something, and you were walking in on them, or because it was deer hunting season. I mean, 2 and 2 go together. Deer hunting season, there's deer everywhere. They're going to get a deer. You're getting too close to what they're getting ready to pounce on one, so they ran you off, and
Yeah,
I agree with you 100% on that. I doubt it's an alpha male at all, because just the encounters I heard myself, it was short.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'm 6'2", and I must have had 4 or 5 inches on it, because it was on flat ground when I saw it. It grabbed me.
So it must have been a teenager or an adolescent.
Adolescent,
Yeah.
Adolescent.
But what you said, Tom, about him driving him out of his territory, that's absolutely true, and that's what Todd told me on the pre-interview. He said, "Man, he must have just wanted me out of his territory because he let me go. Basically, he pointed in that direction for me to go back where I came from. That you don't need words for that. You understand that you got to go back where you came from. So yeah, that's amazing, man. This is like, to me, this is the most interesting encounter, Todd, out of all your encounters. This one right here is like the one that got me like, wow, bro. It had me like, jaw dropping, whenever you were telling me the whole thing on the pre-interview. And I was like, wow, man, that's so crazy. I don't know what I would do in your shoes at that moment. I mean, you could say a lot of things, but when you're in that situation, you don't know what you're going to do. You don't know what your body's going to do, bro. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what your body's going to do. You don't know if you're going to throw up. You don't know if you're going to shit on yourself. You don't know if you're going to piss your pants. You don't know what you're going to do. You know what I mean? It's just the stir of the moment that whatever, your mind reacts to of what it's looking in front of it. You know what I mean? So it's like, man, that's crazy, bro. I don't know. I don't know what I would do, honestly. I mean, I know I would, try to, walk backwards. But walk backwards. I'll never turn my back on it, but I'd walk backwards slowly. I know that's for sure. Yeah. But like my body would react to in that very moment, I don't know, bro. I mean, honestly, I couldn't say. I've never had anything happen to me like that before, where I can know what would happen. You know what I mean? Not even a bear or anything like that. What's that, Todd?
I really, really hope you're never in that position either.
Yeah, me neither, bro. Me neither, man. I agree. I completely agree with that. And I remember you telling me, man, a lot of people want to go out there and look for this thing. No, they don't want to.
Don't do it.
I wouldn't recommend it, right, Todd?
No. If you think you're man enough to go in the woods, hunting for one of these things, and there's people that does it. There's a lot of people that does it. North American Dogman Project's one of them. They respond to a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they fit in the truck with their testicles. I just ain't going to do it. I'm not going after them. I don't recommend anybody go after them because there's a high likelihood you might find them. Even higher likelihood you're not getting out of there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, okay, I guess we're ready for the questions. Tom, do you see any? I know I see a couple.
I got one from Al. Al wants to know what made you holster your gun.
I can't tell you. I don't know. Just a feeling in my gut, putting it up might save my life. So I did.
Yeah. I mean, you probably would have just pissed him off anyway, even if it wasn't a full-size one. You know, who knows what, when you hit him, you probably just piss him off, and you'll have 3 more coming at you.
Exactly. I was about to say, what if I would have shot it and downed it? Next thing you know, I got the rest of his family there showing up.
Right. Yeah. That's the last thing you want happening, bro.
I carry a 45, 10-round magazines and 2 8-round magazines on my other side.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I'm done. 1 crossbow bolt, hope for the best? No. So it's probably just gut feeling, maybe reflex, put it up. Also, after it let me go, it wasn't physically threatening me. It wasn't moving.
Right. So it just stood still and like just watching you walk back, right?
Well, I stood still. It stood still. Like I said, for anywhere 2 to 5 minutes.
Wow, that's a long time, bro. That's a stare down right there.
People have these stare downs that last 30 seconds.
Wow.
2 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, 2 to 5 minutes. That's a lot. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy, man. I got another question from Lisa. It says, did it look like the eyes were self-illuminated? That's a very good question.
They were bright.
Thank you, Lisa.
They were bright. I can't tell you if they were self-illuminating, but it was still daylight when I was that close to it.
Okay.
Heck.
Okay.
I think what happened, it had anywhere from 5 to 8 foot of distance on me. But I think I startled it maybe when I drew and turned around real fast. So I might have jumped back. But
well, the reason she's asking that, Todd, because there's been a lot of encounters where they say that the eyes look self-illuminated, like they have some type of lighting behind their eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I just can't say I noticed they were extraordinarily bright, amber, but that's maybe what people seeing. Because super bright eyes will look self-illuminating.
Well, yeah, especially where there's nothing lighting them up. It's not like you got a flashlight, towards their eyes or anything. You know what I mean? And they look bright like that, and yeah, they look self-illuminated. I've heard of that a lot. Yeah. All right. Well, you see any more questions, Tom? Trying to look for more questions, bro.
I didn't see them at the moment. I think we kind of cleared them up. We might want to just ask if anybody has any more questions real quick before we jump to the next encounter. Put them up real quick because I don't,
So the genitalia, yeah, he was a male. The height, he was short. He was like under 6 foot because Tom is 6'2". So, and he said he was right under him. Anything else we can recap? I mean, because because of the questions that they might want to ask. The eyes, we already asked about the eyes. What about the color of its fur, Tom? What color was his hair, man? His fur, bro.
Kind of brownish.
Brownish. Okay. Was it like a dark brown or like a golden brown or?
You ever seen a cinnamon bear?
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Okay.
But it wasn't fluffy at all. It was more sleek. Looked healthy, if anything.
Okay. Sleek. Yeah. Okay. So, any more questions?
Yep.
Okay, Sergio.
Yep.
Okay. What you got, Tom? Okay.
Go ahead.
Says Sergio, do you have reoccurring dreams or connection with this Dogman? This one.
Well, I had nightmares. Mostly getting chased out of the woods, but that's about it.
Wow.
And that didn't only last a couple weeks after it happened.
Oh.
But other than that, no. Of course, you're gonna have nightmares. You go through something
Right,
traumatic.
right, exactly. You know, do you have any nightmares? Have you had any nightmares lately? Okay,
No,
okay.
but I did a lot of
So,
talking to people, and it helped me through it.
and it kind of,
Best therapy on earth.
oh, okay, okay, good. So you're feeling a lot better with that PTSD. Okay, cool, cool, cool. What about when did that happen? That one precisely. When did that one happen? Like what year? What month? Because I know
2020, November 24th.
November 24th. Okay, yeah. I remember you saying it was going to be Thanksgiving weekend. What year was that, Todd?
2020.
2020?
Last year.
Yeah.
Last year? Wow.
Mm.
Wow. I thought this was like back, a couple of years ago, but wow, that was last year. Damn.
No.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well,
I
all right.
see a couple
Any
more.
other? Okay. Go ahead,
All
Tommy.
right. We got. I'll just combine these questions because it'll make sense. Did you see ears, tail, or did it have a mane, Todd?
I didn't see no mane. Definitely saw ears, very pointed. And I didn't see no tufts on the top like some people say. They're just pointed ears. Very, very canine-ish, but not exactly right for a canine. It's like their teeth. Their teeth ain't exactly right for a canine, but really close. Just you can tell by looking at them, there's just something off.
Hey, Todd. I have a question. This is a pretty interesting question. How big was his head? Was it a big head, like the typical German Shepherd head, what they call, or a chow head? They relate that to.
It kind of reminded me of a German Shepherd wolf, but it was very large, but it kind of in proportion to its body. It wasn't like no ridiculously big bobblehead. It was proportionate to its body. But it was definitely way bigger than normal wolf head or dog head. It was big.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So definitely bigger, unproportional to his body, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It didn't look like it was just sewed on from something else, if you know what I mean. It looked like it's supposed to be there like that.
Right.
Wow.
Every one I ever seen was pretty well proportional.
Right. Wow. Okay. And I got Barbara. She's asking, what state did this happen at? This is in your home state, right?
North Carolina. Oh no.
Arkansas.
No? Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you said you went home for that weekend, right? For Thanksgiving weekend, you decided to go hunting, so that was in Arkansas. Okay. Thank you, Todd, for that answer. Do you see anything else, Tom?
Charlie, Colleen, she just has like two quick questions. Any of your fellow truckers encountered this, and did you feel this creature was paranormal, organic, or supernatural? So we could finish that off, and I think
Good question.
Yeah.
On the latter question, has to be organic.
Yeah.
Because if it was a spiritual nature or demonic, no, it couldn't have grabbed me like that. And other truck drivers, no, you don't hardly get to talk to them as much as you think you do, especially with a pandemic. Most of us just, not me, I like to talk to people. I get lonely in here.
Right, exactly.
But most truck
you
jump out of their truck, put their head down, and go.
Right. I remember you mentioning to me, Todd, that when you're in your truck and you're driving, you like to listen to these types of encounters, right? Cryptid encounters and stuff like that.
Yeah, but like I love listening to them, but I only listen to one or two at a time because it terrifies me.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah. PSTD. Okay. I have a question from where'd it go? Okay. Yeah. From Bond. Bond says he's asking, did he see ears or a tail? Like
I saw ears.
Like the tail, did it have a tail or not, or did it not have a tail? You know what I mean? It never had its back to me, so I couldn't tell you. Oh, okay. Thank you. Where's I saw another one. Okay, yeah, Alfred. He was asking, did it have a mane? You know how some have like a mane, like a lion type mane on their shoulders. Did it have a mane on them?
Mane, no.
No. Okay. Okay.
No, I didn't see no mane.
Okay. I got another good question from Charlie Kylene. Says, have you ever have any of your fellow truckers encountered this before?
He already
Oh, he did.
answered that. I already asked those questions. Yeah, that
Okay,
I already asked all three of those questions,
wow.
but that's cool.
Okay,
on the bottom, Eric wants to know, why do you think it let you see it?
Oh, good question. Good question.
Probably to get me out of there. It had to be to get me out of there. I was just too close to something important. And if they go for the fear factor, all you have to do is look.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a sane, rational person, you see one and you'll freak out. There is no looking at these easily.
Wow.
Because all our lives we get put in our head, there ain't no such thing as monsters. And you say, see a Bigfoot, Dogman, Jersey Devil, anything like that, and it's just going to collapse. Your whole world's going to fall down.
Right.
Wow.
Man, that's crazy, dude. I think this is like the craziest one right here, man. The close encounter that you had with it, man. That was like, that's like mind blowing, bro. That's, man. Wow.
Yes, sir.
Did
Absolutely.
Do you think, this is from me, Todd, do you think that they have telepathic abilities? Like, did you feel like they were speaking to you in any way when you had that encounter with them, you know, face to face?
Not that I know of. I didn't hear a voice in my head or any motions, except maybe when I put my gun up.
Right. Okay.
That'd be a very big possibility.
Okay. Okay, because a lot of
possibility, but it's pretty big.
Right. Because we have heard some encounters where, you know, the eyewitness feels like they spoke to them telepathically. You know what I mean? Whether it be true telepathic or just in their minds telepathic, but they felt that. You know what I mean? That's why I was asking. Yeah.
Because I'm not the normal kind of person. I was raised in Arkansas. When I pull my gun out of my holster in defense, usually I pull it out shooting.
Right. And this one you did, and it was just like, no, I better put it up because you didn't have a good feeling of the outcome on that, right?
No, it's like you pull the trigger, you might die.
Right. Okay. Makes sense. Yeah. I got another question from Charlie Kylene. It says, are you familiar with Goatman from Arkansas?
I never heard of a Goatman in Arkansas. I heard of the Ozark Howler, but not the Goatman.
Oh.
I thought that was another state thing. I don't remember which state, but it involved a bridge.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
What was that, Tom? Do you remember we covered that in the group a while back with David from Texas, dude from Texas. Do you remember?
It's either Indiana or Maryland. I forget. It's one of the two.
Maryland.
Goatman. Yeah, the Goatman.
There you go, Maryland. Yeah. I remember we were covering that. That's awesome. I'd love to go there.
To that
with bridge.
Predilection for an axe. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go with the axe. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Okay, so
know of, but most rednecks in Arkansas, they don't want to talk about anything like this.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Alfred said Texas has one. I think they do. I think I remember seeing that too, Tom. And I even told dude from Texas, hey, we got to go there, man, me and you, because we're in Texas, right, Todd? So I told a buddy of mine, dude from Texas, said, hey, man, we got to go to that bridge because they say there's like a goat man there, and we wanted to go check it out. He's like, yeah, man, we should, man, we should one day. So. Okay, we covered that, and I guess we can move on. I don't see any more questions, Tom, so I think we can move on to the last encounter. What do you think, buddy? Sounds good?
Sounds good. I already made a post, so.
Okay.
All right.
Alrighty.
Disclaimer on this one. This is my stepfather's story. If you
Okay.
remember the reports I sent you?
Yeah.
And I posted around. Yeah, it was my stepfather
Okay.
Ian's story. I have 100% permission to tell this, and I interviewed him basically the same way you're interviewing me. So
Okay.
just not on video. I was thorough with it. It was in 1991, Butte County, Butte Valley, California.
Mm-hmm.
And as him, about 5 of his friends were just walking this trail. It was basically a shortcut through the woods. Everybody had them when they're kids, so I know at least I did. And him and his friends were walking. I think they were like going to the store or something. It shaved about 4 miles off their walk. And they were walking through, and they're already on high alert. Because according to Ian, he saw like 2 bears and heard some noises. So he walked along and he saw this thing hunched over. And he said it kind of had dark fur, kind of like dark deep brown. He thought it was another bear. But he said when he got close to it, about, according to him, 100 yards off, he said this thing was way big and it didn't look like a bear. It wasn't, roundish, bear-like. So it stood up on his hind legs, turned and looked at him, and bounded. 4 jumps and gone. It was like it disappeared up in smoke. He said all he saw after the 4th bounce was a blur. Said him and his friends just hauled tail out there, then looked back, and none of them will talk about it. Back before I had my encounters, I had him take me there. Back when I was stupid. Come to these things, but yeah, that's it for him. But he said it had a really long pronounced snout, pointed ears, and that's when it clicked to me. I need to ask questions. He said it had to be at least 7 foot tall, 7.5 foot tall, big, and very fast. Way too fast to be a bear.
Wow.
But he said the way it's hunched over is like it's digging. Or maybe had a animal pinned at the side of the trail eating. There's no telling with it. When I went to the area, I didn't see nothing out of the normal.
Wow. You got anything to add on that, Tom?
I mean, you didn't see it. It was your stepfather or your father's encounter?
Yes.
Were they hunting, Todd? Were they hunting when they ran into that?
No, according to Ian, he was 14 years old at the time. And he's walking. It's like a little park area through a little bit of a valley, and it's shortcut to a different part of town.
Oh, okay. That's what happened. Okay, all right. Okay, I get it. Well, we have some questions on there already. Tom, do you have anything to add to that before we go to the questions, or?
I mean, it's kind of hard for me to ask a question on an account that's from his father, but I mean, you did ask him did he get any of the good details, like on like facial features, teeth, claws, mane, anything like that, or male, female?
Right.
He said he could tell the gender, and it did not have a mane, but he said he saw large fangs and some of the small teeth in between them, and he saw large pointed ears with tufts.
Like a bobcat?
Yeah.
Like a bobcat.
Yeah, it has that little bit of fur sticking up, tufts on the ears. And he said he did see the hind legs, and they weren't, I'm talking about they were stifled joints and hocks. They weren't regular bipedal flat-footed legs.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. So when they ran up on it, they startled it, like it didn't know they were there.
Yeah, kind of like that. Hence the disappearance. Because I believe it was eating.
Okay.
It had to be eating.
Kind of hunched down.
Yeah.
Close to the ground. Eating.
Kind of like Beast of Bray Road fashion. Hunched down over eating.
Right. Okay.
And if it's engrossed in its meal, you could probably walk up on it, not making tons of noise.
Right.
Or maybe wanted to get a rise out of them because, 4 or 5 kids are going to be making noise.
Right. Wow. Do you know if it snarled at them? Like, did it show any teeth or type of aggression, towards them once they, startled him, like, for him to turn around?
No.
Do you know? No?
No. I asked him, he said no.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess we can just jump into the questions, Tom. I have one from Al. He says, how many boys were with him?
Well, it was all guys and 4 to 5 of them.
Okay. And he had another question as well. He said, how old was he when he seen it?
14.
Oh, okay. Cool. Nice. Do you see any more questions, Tom?
Yeah, there's one more from Al. Al wants to know, did it ever run off on 2 legs or 4?
Well, it took its first
Good question, Al.
the way he painted it in my mind, and my stepfather is not one to procrastinate. I'm going to use a movie reference here because it's the best way to explain it. I assume y'all familiar with the Hugh Jackman movie Van Helsing.
Oh yeah.
The first werewolf you see in the movie, the way it jumps out of the bushes.
Right.
Well, it took 4 big running steps, and then kind of lunged like that, and got down on the ground and left.
Oh, okay. That's why he said it was like super fast, right?
Yes.
Right.
I mean, according to him, he said he barely saw it take its steps, then it did that jump lunge and left.
Wow.
Well, I've heard of Dogman being able to leap or jump like maybe 30-foot, distance on one leap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure you heard of that too, right, Tom?
Yeah, 15, 20, 25 feet, one jump. I mean, their leg muscles they're intense. I mean, the spring action in their legs, the way their joints are set up. I mean, those things can jump forever.
Right.
Probably better than a kangaroo jump,
Oh, I heard many encounters of them just jumping up on a bank that's way too high for anything to jump. So I agree with y'all on that one.
They could
100%.
jump on people's roofs of a 2-story house. So it makes sense.
Oh yeah. Definitely. I just don't want to be around if they jump in my direction.
Yeah, I
crazy.
know. That would be crazy. Being right in front of it while it's jumping. Oh hell no. No, man. They got movies for that, man.
Exactly.
Right, Tom?
Watch one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why they make these movies. I mean, they're trying to show us a little bit of disclosure, what things are really like out in the world, and they're just kind of giving it to us little by little in each movie that they're doing, and that's how they work it.
Yeah, you're right, man. They're sharing information that we should know, but they try to make it sci-fi.
Yeah, like some movies, like some werewolf movies I watch, and I'll be like, does that producer or director know something?
Right.
Because it looks very similar.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and that's what me and Tom said. Ever since we met, like, man, they're putting it right in our faces, bro. You know what I mean? And trying to make it look like a sci-fi movie, like made up shit, but it's really true.
They say the best way to hide something is to put it right in front of your face.
Yeah.
So that's what they're doing. We got a question from Chris. Chris wants to know, do you believe there's a connection between you and these creatures? Possibly.
I don't know. I lived, if as a crow flies from that location, I live about 6 miles from it, and there was just woods separating my house from the orchard, and miles of woods. So I don't know, maybe. I can't prove or deny that.
Wow.
my whole life, I grew up in the woods. Since I was 10 years old, I was always out and around.
Wow,
I
that's
wasn't the
crazy.
normal get out of school, go home and play on your PS3 or Xbox or whatever. No, I was
Right,
either on the four-wheeler or I was hiking.
right. Hey, Todd, I have a question from Eric. He says, does he feel that there is a reason he and his family have had so many encounters with these things?
Luck of the draw
Yeah,
or bad luck.
bad luck. Well, yeah, I mean, because you
Yeah.
said your nephew and your family have seen them, well, ran into them, so that is in your family, right? I mean, has anybody else in your family had an encounter, or something, related to an encounter with any cryptids, Todd?
Well, my uncle, he passed away before I was born, but according to my grandfather, he was hunting, he was fishing in Dardanelle Lake in California in higher mountains, and he supposedly seen Bigfoot and never went back in there. My great uncle Joe seen something that was not Bigfoot in Newton County, Arkansas, and he literally packed up his whole house and moved to town, which I don't blame him after what I seen, so ain't no telling what he seen in the holler.
Right.
And my sister's a city girl, so they don't know anything. They haven't seen it. They just know information tidbits I give them.
Right. Man, dude. What about let me ask you this, Todd. What about your fellow truck drivers, man? Like your friends, your buddies, your bros, man. Have you ever talked to them about these type of encounters, and have they ever had their own encounters?
Well, other than truckers I talked to on Facebook, which a couple seen stuff similar,
Right.
if not pretty identical, but
Right. Because like I told you last time we talked, I would think a lot of truck drivers have seen, crazy shit on the road, bro. You know what I mean? Whether it be day or night, you know, just I mean, it could be anything. It could be any type of cryptid. I mean, it could be anything unknown,
I
that
kind
nobody's ever
of
heard of
the
before. Uh
I kind of tell if they've seen something or not.
hmm
Like, if you're talking to them about this kind of stuff, seeing weird shit on the road, basically.
right.
Ones that, in my opinion, hasn't seen nothing, they'll just put it off, make a joke out of it at your expense. But then
hmm
there's the other ones that get twitchy, nervous, won't make eye contact with you, and just
Right.
shut down.
Right. So they're pretty much BSing.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Do you?
Truck drivers personally, face to face, told me any stories they've seen? No.
No. Okay. So nobody really came out and told you anything as a cold truck driver that you know. Oh
No.
wow, that's crazy, because I would think a lot of people would, a lot of truck drivers would have told you something. Oh man, I saw this crazy shit. You know what I mean? Maybe a woman, in a white dress with her hair down, look like she's some dead lady or something. You know what I mean? Anything paranormal, really. You know what I mean?
Well, if say, way I look at it, and here's my theory, I'm pretty certain a big population of truck drivers have seen stuff similar,
Mhm.
if not the same thing, but they may put it down to stress, may put it down to fatigue, they put it down to wild hallucinations due to way too much caffeine. No telling.
Okay.
But most of it's probably like, if I come out with this, I may lose my job.
Right. Hey, I got one more question from Alfred. He said, did he ever find wood structures in his woods or a den? Have you found?
I never did ask him that question.
No?
Well,
Okay. And you've never ran into anything like that in your woods, Todd?
yeah, I ran into wood structures, but
Oh,
before
really?
I really got into trying to do any real research, well, after my last encounter, I wanted to find out more and better protect myself.
Wow.
What more to look out for? And yeah, you can notice wood structures. Like, how did that branch hang on that tree?
Right.
By one little piece of it.
Right. Right. Hey, has anybody, Tom or Todd, have you ever seen the picture of a bear stuck up in a tree, kind of like killed and stuck up in a tree? I'm gonna say maybe about 30, 40 feet up in the air on a tree. Have y'all ever seen that image?
No,
No, I've seen it.
never saw that
That's,
one. I've seen pictures
yeah.
of deer. I've seen pictures of deer 30 feet up in a tree, and in the V of a tree. I've seen like pictures of dead, dead other animals, but I've never seen a bear. I mean, I've seen like the deer, sometimes a goat or a cat, or even a pet dog. But never what you're
Dude, it
saying.
was
No.
crazy. When I saw that, I was like, what the hell? And it looked like it was impaled too, Tom. Like it had a branch sticking up its, not its private parts, but like its back or something. Like, I don't know. It looked kind of crazy. But it was all the way up in the tree. Like a bear doesn't climb up to a tree to die. You know what I mean?
Now, I'm going to research that.
Yeah, check it out.
I have heard of animals being left up in trees, but mountain lion maybe.
Right.
I got to run through what it's most likely to be before I jump into the paranormal side of it.
Right. Hey, I got another question. Good question from Chris Cyrus. He says, how many different types of Dogman does he believe there are?
Well, there's just
Like
way too many encounters just to say, oh, like what I saw maybe most likely is canine type. Because the last one I saw had hocks and stifle joints. But who's saying they ain't the Wolfman type? All these other different types, there's whole lists of them.
Right.
So
hey,
I'm
Todd,
hardly agree. Yeah, there's more than one type.
Right. Oh yeah. There's, I mean, everybody knows, and Chris knows too. He's just wanting to know what you thought about that. You know, how many you think there are. You know what I mean? But before we continue, guys, or before we wrap this up, I do want to, because I see there's some people leaving. There were like 15 a while ago, and it's 13 now. I do want to really quick just kind of put in there that Todd has his own Cryptid group on Facebook, and I'd like to just announce that, just for people that are interested in to going to visit Todd and and joining his group, show some support. We would really like that, guys, and we would really appreciate that y'all doing that for Todd. Todd,
come over, safe environment.
Thank you, buddy. Can you give us the name of your group, bro? Because I kind of forgot right now.
It's a bit of a long one. It's Dogman Encrypted, eyewitness support, information, and discussion.
Okay.
Okay. We'll share your link on our group page if anybody wants to join it, Todd, just for support, for coming on the show and for telling your encounters. And we always work together with other people, other groups, because we're not about that tit for tat. You do this, I do that. We support other groups, all groups. You support us, we support you, and we want to help you and you help us. I mean, that's just the way it's supposed to be these days. There's too much animosity out there, too much hatred, too much. This one's jealous of that one because they got this, and it's ridiculous,
Yeah, absolutely, Tom. I agree.
Another thing I like about helping groups get together, and y'all just did a shout out for me. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, bro.
All of it goes to one big information pool. The more we know, the better we are prepared to handle it. Like, say, listen to the video right now. Everything I said, all my encounters, my stepfather's encounters, that's just better arming yourself in case you get out there and get face-to-face with one. You have a higher probability of living.
Exactly. That's where you take your knowledge of what you've learned, throughout all these different encounters on different channels, and use that to your advantage and know what to do and what not to do. And it just might save your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely right, Todd.
Also, you could be the most best prepared person on the world, and you come across a dog, man, scream like a little girl and take off running through the woods.
Yeah. That's very possible. Yeah, that's very possible, man.
Part about it, if that happens to you and you get the hell out of there and you live, Thank God.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know that feeling because I was out hunting in my tree stand a couple years ago, and I'm 14 feet up in a homemade tree stand, and I got Bigfoot screaming at me with some monkey noise, and then they start making owl calls from 20 yards away, and I'm stuck in a homemade tree stand that I made, and I dropped my flashlight and I dropped my phone on the ground, and there's nothing I could do, so I just froze, and I stayed there for a couple minutes, and eventually I just got up. I was like, listen, I don't want no problems. I just want to get a deer. I'm not here to bother you. I just want to get a deer, and I'll leave. And not too far after that, they everything got quiet. I started hearing animals chirping. The sun started setting, and I waited about 25 minutes, and I got the hell out of there.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, that's what I was gonna say, Tom. If you could tell Todd about your experiences with Bigfoots and trees and branches.
Yes, please.
Crossing and all that, and this is right behind his house too, Todd. So, can you tell him a little bit about that?
Yeah, if you friend me on Facebook, you could see all my pictures of like the stuff I have. I got a bunch of X's.
Yeah.
I mean, I got
He's got a lot of activity.
I got bends. I got all kinds of like structure trees. Like you said, there's no way a tree can fold itself and tangle, and like 5 different trees just all tangled together and folded down and make all perfectly. There's no way wind can do that. People don't do that. And then you got trees that fall or they're knocked over. I know there's tree falls, but then you got other trees that are perfectly folded over one another in like the perfect way done possible. That weather can't handle that, and it don't ever snow in Charlotte by me, so snow can't do that. It just
Right.
makes a good point. You know what it is, and then you got some holes, some little burrow holes along the dried up creek bed.
Yeah.
It could be a den where they live. I won't even go in there. I won't go near there. I just took pictures of them. I got some cracks.
Hey, Tom, tell him about the Bigfoot that brought you. What was it? A dead deer?
Yeah. So I was hunting. It was this hunting season, bow hunting season. I'm a crossbow hunting, and I see a nice 4-pointer, and I missed him, and I knew I missed him because I see my crossbow bolt zipped right above its head, and it just started ricocheting off branches, leaves, and trees. You know that sound I'm talking about when you don't make a shot. The deer runs off to the left, and I'm like, oh crap, whatever. So I just wait about an hour, and then I go back, and I'm like, no more, nothing's going on today. I'm going inside. So about 2 or 3 days later. Could even be a week later. I don't exactly know the day, but it's maybe 2 to 3 days. I would say. I'm out in the woods riding my 4-wheeler. I got a Suzuki 4-wheeler. I like to ride around the woods. I got some trails back there, so I'm looking down by the tree, and I'm like, I thought the deer was about to run away. I'm like, that's a damn dead deer. So I look at it, and I look at it again. I'm like, that's the same exact 4-pointer I missed a shot on. And he's laying dead underneath this tree with his head snapped backwards. And I'm looking at it. I stopped the 4-wheeler. I turn it off, and I'm looking at this deer. I'm trying to examine how it died, and I'm looking at its whole body. It doesn't have the rigor mortis from getting hit by a car. There's no marks on its body whatsoever from anything at all, except its head being snapped backwards, and it's just laying there with its head completely snapped backwards. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. And I came to the realization that I was gifted this from the Bigfoot on my property because there's no way else that thing could have died like that. So what I did was here's the funny part of the story. I dragged it another 40 yards down into the dried up creek bed, so it was kind of hidden because I was worried that maybe if I leave this thing in the woods, someone's gonna call somebody on me for being out there, even though there's no proof of it. But whatever, it is what it is. So I drag it out into a little a dried up creek bed valley next to some leaves, and you could see where I dragged it because there was drag marks. And I couldn't do nothing with the deer anyway because the meat was spoiled from being dead for a while. Even though it didn't have rigor mortis, I know the meat was spoiled because it was still kind of warm out that time, maybe December, early January. It wasn't even cold out in the Carolinas. But that being said, when I come back a day or two, I go looking at the spot just to check on that dead deer, and guess what? It is not there. There's no drag marks, and there's no blood. There's no fur. It's like something threw it on its shoulder and just got the heck out of there. and took the deer back and said, I'll take it with me then. So yeah.
That ain't the first time I heard something like that.
And it's and I also put out like dead pine straw from my monkey grass, and I put out apples every now and then in the woods for them to have. And I think that they were kind of like thanking me for giving them like straw to stay warm in the winter, and apples. And I put out seashells out in the woods, and I flip them over, and sometimes I come back and they're flipped the other way. So it's kind of a way of communication. It's almost like a friendship made. Because when I first had that experience, I froze to death, and I didn't go in the woods for 2 months after that. And I wouldn't even hunt until the sun was out. I wouldn't go in the woods in the dark in the morning before the sun came up because, I had PTSD from that too for a while. I had bad nightmares. I had nightmares where I'd fall down into like a little well, and I'd see like a Bigfoot coming at me from the bottom of it, and it was charging me, and I couldn't move, and I couldn't talk, and I couldn't yell. I was just kind of stuck there frozen. So I know what it's like to have that PTSD, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, it's bad. I still won't go out in the woods before daylight.
Yeah.
And people think Bigfoot are the friendlier cryptid to run across.
Right.
No, that'd be just as much ferocious as Dogman could be. It's just their mood.
Oh.
It has to be just their mood. But that's awesome. You're coexisting peacefully. That's amazing.
I know, man. It's like a friendship, Tom. That's awesome, bro.
I mean, I love that. That is amazing.
You gift them and they gift you, man. That's awesome, bro.
Yeah, I ain't about to leave nothing out for Dogman in the woods. Sorry.
No, well, I was
do that.
I was talking to somebody who does mind speaking with the Bigfoot, and I don't know how many people are into that or not, but I was talking to a famous person in the cryptid world that the mind speaks with the Bigfoot, and she was able to channel the ones on my property. And here's how I know she wasn't lying to me, because she told me stuff about my property that she wouldn't know unless she was sitting in my woods in my yard, about how my woods is set up and where how it is. So she told me they like me because they know I'm good inside, I'm good natured, I have a good spirit, and they want to communicate with me. So I was like, wow, I really haven't gotten back with her a whole lot after that, because when you hear something like that, somebody tells you that, it kind of blows your whole mind away, and you really don't know how to take that. So I'm still kind of processing that whole thing, and I mean, I accept it already, but I'm still kind of processing that whole thing. It's crazy,
Right.
Oh, when we get off here, I'll send you some pictures close to the area where I had my last encounter. As far as I know, there ain't nothing in it, just pictures of the area I snapped. He's seen them. I sent them to him. But I'll send them to you and see what you make out of it, if it's a good area for them, and just avoid the whole side of the mountain in general.
Yeah, I know.
I've been up there 2 different times. Never got weirded out, never seen anything weird, but just kind of scary area anyhow. It's been related to like the Blair Witch Project.
Right.
Kind of like her.
Right. Hey, Tom, who was it? John Sumner said, he commented, he said he heard they like coffee. He's talking about Bigfoot. Maybe we should put some coffee out there for him, buddy.
Give him some Folgers.
Running around.
I give him some Folgers and give him some what are they, the Bigfoot meat? What is it called? The Jack Links.
Yeah.
Yeah, leave him some Jack Links out there with him.
Don't mess them with the Squatch. Give them some Jack Links jerky and stuff,
Yeah.
Don't piss them off so they don't throw rocks at me.
Might not do that. He has a picture. That's what happened to my cousin.
Yeah. Well, okay, guys, I think we're about ready to wrap it up then. Is there any last comments or information that you guys might want to add before we leave Tom and Todd?
Well, all I'm going to add is don't go looking.
Okay.
Definitely not go tracking one of them. Like that one comment, I'm not going to follow one back to its den area. I don't know if that tastes good, but I'm pretty sure they'd find out. Just keep yourself in a solid state of preparation. If you go in the woods, stay observant and keep your head on a swivel.
Right.
And not even just in woods, like in city areas. Like there's sightings in Dallas, there's sightings in Central Park in New York. Just because you're in a huge metropolitan area does not mean you won't see one. So just keep your head on swivel at all times, and don't just think Dogman, Bigfoot, other cryptids are the only things that'll hurt, kill you, and eat you in the woods, because they're not. There's like bears, outlines.
Oh yeah.
And if you're just focusing on looking for a cryptid, you won't pay attention to the other dangers.
Right.
So just head on swivel out there.
Right.
Buddy system.
Right. Yes, true that. Yeah,
you're
exactly.
right. You're right, because you got bobcat, cougar, you got bear, you got wolf. I mean, anything's a predator out there. So you got to be prepared, because anything could sneak up on you, and 3 seconds, and you don't even know it, and before you know it, they got their fangs into you. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
Take a survival kit in a backpack, because if someone's going to jump on your back, they'll get the backpack first. That should be common knowledge. Take some, keep yourself alive with, and put it on your back.
There you go. Yeah, that's good, because you can always ditch the backpack and let them eat the food and get away. Right. Make a good getaway with that. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Todd, I just wanted to ask you one last question, because I do remember somebody asking on the chat, but I forgot to get to it. Do you think that the dog man outside your rig, when he knocked on your rig and everything, do you think you smelled your dog inside the rig?
Might have something to do with it.
Might have something.
My dog, a cut male, but just having a dog in like unfamiliar scents in this area.
Mm-hmm.
I know my dog was being dead silent, but he don't bark, he growls. His communication is growling.
Oh.
But
okay.
When I got settled down, and I got to Oklahoma City when I stopped, got to Constantine, I believe it was in McLean's, really terrible place to drop a load off.
Right.
Tight part. I got there and my dog was still huddled in the corner of my bunk and the little ball shaking. So, yeah, I might have had something to do with it.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, if y'all don't have anything else to add on, then I guess we're pretty much done for today, guys. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who showed up. Thank you for everybody that supported us tonight, me and Tom. We love each and every one of you. And Todd, thank you very much. It was a great interview with you, man. Nice and easy interview. You answered everything, perfectly. So, I think it was a great show tonight, guys.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem, Todd. And we'll be seeing each other a lot more now.
Y'all stay in touch.
Yeah. How about you, Tom?
Them wood structures you talked about, Tom.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll send them to you. And, I appreciate you coming on, Todd. And I really do appreciate everybody that showed up tonight, because that meant a lot to me. Because, this is like pretty much one of our first shows, second show, and on the live on the group. And, you never know how it's going to turn out. But we had a good turnout tonight. And we had a good interaction with the chat. We had a great guest. We couldn't ask for anything better. So I appreciate everybody that came out and showed up and showed support, showed us some love. Thank each and every one of you. You all know who you are, and I love you all, guys. Thank you.
Yep. All right, guys. That wraps it up for us tonight. We'll see you on the next live stream that we have. We'll let y'all know in advance, like we did on this one, and see you guys there. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. Thank you. We love you, man. Me and Tommy love you. Everybody, thank you for your support. We'll see y'all next time. Okay.
Much love.
Much love, guys. Bye. Peace out. Bye.